Hello and good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Welcome to Recipe to Shiver. This will be the actual first video that we're doing um, for this broadcast. We'll be constantly doing these things like this, having discussions about marriage and relationships, period. Overall,
Family.
family, giving our perspective and asking for you guys' input on subject matters that we bring in. And once in a while, we'll have some guests poke in and give their input, their story. We'll play it by ear how we go with that. But
It also cover, finances within the marriage.
yes, a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, children, all of
So
that.
today, my wife and I are celebrating 25 years.
Our silver,
Our silver anniversary.
yay!
And it's amazing, you know. Sometimes I look at it now and it's like, wow, 25 years. I can't believe 25 years has passed, you know. So it's like, sometimes I look at it, it's crazy. It's crazy to believe I've been married. Somebody wanted to marry me for 25 years. Stay married to me. It's awesome. And with that being said, you know, we sat back tonight. We went to a restaurant called Ruth Chris.
Which a lot of y'all probably went to. We wanted to kind of keep it low key and under the radar a little bit. And y'all know Ruth Chris is very good for that. It's elegant and it's intimate and
Very intimate. So.
right. So, for us it was just another restaurant to go to, but to keep it kind of low key.
Spacious, allows you to get in the corner and wherever you was at. Even though it has room for a lot of people,
We still
it
felt
still
like
felt like you can be intimate and secluded, so to speak,
right.
and still carry on your conversations without being overwhelmed by anybody. 25 years, what does that mean to me? It means the beginning of longevity. My in-laws, um, Charles and Shirley Williams, I remember they celebrated their 45th
Mm-hmm.
anniversary, and it was like, wow. And
Right.
I can't wait to reach that accomplishment. In our marriage, as God says the same. You know, that means being alive. I don't plan on leaving her no time soon. So
No, he's not leaving me. When we die, we die together. That'll be a question for some of y'all out there. Would you, if you had the choice, would you want you and your spouse to go at the same time? Or, and I know it's probably a weird question, but it happens where sometimes after a long time, one spouse passes and the other one is left behind. For me, I don't want that. I'm selfish. We're going at the same time. I don't want to be left here without him. Um, he's been with me my entire life. He's my best friend. He's my best friend. I've known him since I was 8 years old. So yeah, we dying together.
for me, my question would be, I would like you guys' input on what do you think about couples being married young? We were 19 years old when we got
Hmm.
married, and they say the first 5 years of marriage is pretty rough,
And it is.
and it is. And we were
Um,
still young. We were still trying to figure out life, period, and at the same time trying to be a family. You know, so a lot of things we had to learn as we went. You know, unfortunately, we were kind of secluded away from family at the time because I went off to Germany. Then after Germany, I went to Texas. So we lived in Texas for a while. So we were stuck with each other trying to figure it out. Got on each other's nerve, learned to just walk away and take a nice little ride. And you begin to see your flaws and try to improve on that, things that you could have done better or differently, approach things better and differently. And I think it was for us, it was beautiful to grow in all aspects together, um, as marriage, husband and wife, children.
our children.
I think it's awesome for me that we grew up with
With
our
our
children.
children, I think that
Right.
is awesome too. Like a lot of people say, "Oh my God, yes." Yes, we know, like I said earlier, we known each other since we was 8. I think that made it a lot harder people would think it would make it a lot easier because you've known somebody that long, but it made it that much harder because now we're together. It's just us. We don't have those buffers. We both come from families where everybody's pretty close, and my mother's house at that time was
The hangout spot.
the hangout spot.
Period.
So it was the go-to. So there was always people around. So when we got married,
It was the hangout spot.
it was rough because, well, we kind of had a gunshot wedding and we didn't. It was weird.
It was my fault. Yes and no.
The invitations and everything was made up for February 14th, 1993. But he decided earlier that summer of '92 to join the military, and when he
It was
came,
actually the winter. I joined in October.
he did okay. Yes. Well, we had discussed it
Yes.
during the summer.
Yes, we
So,
did. Yes, we did.
like I was saying, ladies, I was
Mhm.
correct. And he went away about that time in October. So when he came back with orders, and his orders were for Germany. And he looked at me and he said, "Now or never."
And I said that because I knew me. You know, here I was going to a whole other country. And being away, my orders, I would have to have been there for at least 2 years. Continuously before I even came back to the States. So I was like 2 years being separated, anything could happen.
Right.
You know, I could fall in love with somebody else, she could fall in love with somebody else. You know, life continues.
And we had already kind of went through that already.
Yes, and we had already kind of went through that.
Trying to find other mates, and that didn't work.
I was like, hey, look, God was all in this, because when I went away to basic training, I had only been in the military, I think, 3 weeks,
Yeah,
a month maybe.
maybe
What I said, October.
October, and you
So
came back.
it was late October, and we let us out for leave for Christmas.
Right, that's when you came back.
And typically they do not do that because they know they'll lose a lot of guys they won't come back to basic training. But they went on and let us go. And when I came home, I was like, man, you know, by then I knew I was leaving, going to Germany. I was like, if I don't do it now, you know, we already saw between the both of us what 1 year had done, and all kinds of things that transpired in our lives away from each other, you know, that could have prevented us from being together. So, you know,
He loved me.
you try to throw
Always
2
loved me.
years. We're going to continue that on another segment of our whole world,
But anyway,
because 25 years, you know,
we got a
stories.
lot. We got a lot of stories.
But anyway, that's why the wedding was a shotgun, because it was like, you know, let's go ahead and do this thing and get it over with. I want to be committed to her now.
So of course our parents had a fit because we decided to get married 2 days after Christmas, the 27th, which I felt was a good thing. You know, my gown wasn't ready. I had to find a store owner to get me my gown, and I had his best man drove me around all night, making sure everything was straight. But you know,
I almost was not ready because I didn't have any suits whatsoever.
not one.
I took my Class A's from the military and I put them in the cleaners that Friday.
Before Christmas.
And I totally forgot that, you know, we were getting married on a Sunday
On a Sunday.
and that the cleaners was closed. So my best man came to the house, woke me up, and was like, hey, come on, let's go, let's get ready. And I was like, my uniform. And I was like, the cleaners is closed.
On
But-
our wedding day.
Thank goodness the cleaners was right on my block. The guy, Freddie me, he rest in peace. Been knowing him for a long time. Knew exactly where he lived. Him and his son and I were very tight, close friends. So I just went around the corner, knocked on the door, and was like, hey, Freddie, I need you to go open up the cleaners and get my uniform out. I'm getting married. And he went down there with him and his wife and got me my uniform. And I put it on, and headed to the church.
And that's just one of the great things about living in New York and being in a close community. You're able
Right.
to do that.
Right.
But anyway, back to us in this 25 years. What it means to me. I'm blessed. I'm thankful. I'm humbled. My husband spoils me. I'm very spoiled. I am. But I make sure he's straight and he's taken care of. What it means to me is that God knew what he was doing.
Yes.
For me, I'm not always the most easiest person to get along with, but God knew just what type of man to give me. And I'm so grateful for that because I never really saw myself married. I didn't see the need for it. I didn't see the need for a husband or children. You know, men served a purpose or two, but for me, I was pretty driven about other things. So, marriage wasn't one of them. So, for God to know better and to plan differently for me, I'm truly grateful that He threw my plans out the window and decided to take my life a completely different route. And I have found out exactly what I'm made of, you know, and who I am. I always knew I was strong, but um, 25 years is a long time to be with somebody and then to be so young and do it at 19 and to have a family and children, you know. Um, it was a lot for me to deal with, especially, you know, for those who have military husbands, you know, that the time away is extremely difficult. And I'm just grateful that I was strong enough and that I was more than able and independent enough to kind of handle everything. And thank God for God. You know, if He wasn't in my life, I think mm, I have a lot of stories about that because I'm not going to sit here and say it was all good, but we'll get into those other segments later about exactly how I dealt as a woman.
For me, the 25 years, as I said earlier, was longevity. Also, it was maturity. Got married young. I was 19. I was still immature. I was all about myself. I had no plans on getting married whatsoever. I was only supposed to be in New York for maybe 2 weeks, just coming to get some clothes, rack up on some new kicks, and head on back to Virginia and continue to do nothing because I really hadn't thought about what I wanted to do or anything or who I was, who I wanted to be. Um, and then I got married, and those things started to take effect and become important in my life, where it wasn't just about me anymore. I had my wife and I had children to worry about. So my decision making started being on point as far as maturity and about family, not just me. So it was growth. 25 years of growth, and I'm still growing. You know, I'm still growing, and I thank God for that. I thank God for putting her in my path to wake me up. You know, to say, hey, you need to do something differently, because if you're not, you're either going to be dead or you're going to be in jail. That's another story, because I was lost. It was a real kind of moment of turmoil in my life where things didn't go the way I wanted to go. I felt lost. I felt abandoned. I felt alone. And I just started doing things that I never thought I would do because of that. I always was against certain things, but I found myself doing those things. And the scary part was I was good at it. So I was like, hey, you know, God had to turn things around. Had to turn things around.
Keep him in His path.
Yes,
He had to. Well, he put me back in his path
right.
because you know
Because
he had written me off.
for a minute.
He did. He wrote me off. He did, and I kind of wrote him off too.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he wrote me off big time though, and you know, and I kind of wrote him off too. So we were
both
equally
we would
never
go our
get back
separate ways,
together.
and
Yeah,
we were
did our time together,
done.
and we were done. And God and his mama had other plans. She was the corporate. Mama Jean, love you. But she was the corporate.
She was
And
definitely the culprit.
she was the thing that pushed us back and to each other. And
she was a catalyst.
Yes, she was.
It was all in God's plan, but she was a catalyst. Definitely an avenue.
And that's another thing.
And Rob and Joe, I have to give my brothers credit. They were definitely catalysts too. Definitely. Yeah, you need to go over there. Like, for what? You need to go over there. No, I'm not going. But before we sign off, the question is again, either to those that are married and married young, or those who didn't get married young, or whatever the case may be. We like your input on that. What do you think about young couples getting married at a young age? We like your input. Next time we sign on, that will be the topic of discussion. Need to hear from you guys.
Or marrying with children. What other couple has?
That's another. Not only married, but what if there's a child already involved?
Involved. Like, how do you?
Before you get married. Give us your feedback.
We can answer.
Text us anything. Let us know. Maybe we might choose somebody out the group to have come on and join us as a guest speaker. So look forward to seeing you guys and hearing from you again. And you're definitely going to hear from us again. And we're signing off from Recipe to Chivalry.
And next time, what we'll do is we'll let y'all know ahead of time when we're actually going to be on, so that it gives everybody an opportunity to come on and log in ahead of time before we actually start. But we kind of wanted this one to be a little without so many questions, I guess.
Just a recap.
Just really a recap, right, on us sofa and making it this long. And I'm sure y'all want to know, do we have plans or all that good stuff? He said he do, but he ain't telling. So I guess I gotta wait and see. He's not telling me. I know we're going somewhere. He ain't telling me where, y'all. But it's all good. We'll figure it out. I don't care. He makes good choices. McDonald's is a good one.
McDonald's gonna play in the pig.
Well, we have to sign off with a little prayer, and the prayer is just saying that, Lord, we thank you for keeping us this long, keeping us to our silver, and we're asking God's blessings on this broadcast, and that it would help or encourage someone out there. We're thanking God just for being here, for life, and for having us together and giving us the opportunity and a platform to be able to do this. And we love you and we bless this thing.
Amen.
Amen.
Recipe to Chivalry. Signing off.
Love ya.